Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. To have a very special guest with us today, she's a UK nail artist. Please welcome Louisa Mallett. Hello, Louisa. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
You are most welcome. So I want to go ahead and get started with this interview by asking, where are you originally from and how did you get started in the nail industry?
So I'm from Wales in the UK. And it's a bit of a long-winded process, really, about how I got started because I'm in my mid-30s now and I've only actually been doing nails the last 3 years or so. I've always been into art and I went to art college and I did fine art and art history because I was like, I don't actually know what I want to do. So I did. So I went to art college. And then I did my training in art, but then I went into the world of work very quickly after that. And I did a lot of retail jobs, a lot of, I don't know, things that kind of I feel was maybe me not knowing where I wanted to go with things. So I tried out lots of different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And because I've always loved having my own nails done, I remember having like little pens, the little nail art pens you could squeeze out the tube. Do you remember?
Right. Yeah.
They would take about 5 hours to dry and still come off when you slept on in at night. So I always loved doing my own nail art. I remember buying like crackle top coats and matte top coats and all these things, and always liked going to have my nails done. And I don't know if maybe I was just not seeing what was already out there, but in Wales, there wasn't like, even just getting like a different colour French tip to the places I went was like, oh God, that's a bit weird and wonderful. So I wanted to train in it myself. So a few years ago, everything's a few years ago now, pre-pandemic, I actually went to beauty school and got my qualification. In luxury manicures and acrylic and gel, and it was a real all-rounder, and it went from there really. So that's how I started.
That's really, really cool. Yeah, I remember when the crackle nail polish was out. It was so big, like years ago. And yeah, it was like how you said, like those nail art brushes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like in a bottle and the whole brush would be in the bottle. Like,
yeah.
That's what that was the big thing, like around like I would say like 2010, 2012, somewhere around there.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw a TikTok not so long ago about how you'd get the crackle top coat and you're like, I'm so edgy, when really it honestly looked like the worst thing you could ever put on your nails. It was so
right,
funny.
Exactly.
But you thought you were being so different.
Yeah. That's the thing with that. Now I want to go ahead and talk about nail artists. Who are like your favorite nail artists?
Oh, so I have favorite nail artists who work in a style that I probably never do myself. You know, I like a whole different bunch of nail artists. I really love sort of nails by May, kind of celebrity, really editorial nails with loads of additions to them and gems and 3D elements to them. Mutsa is a real inspiration to me from Impress, like the absolute precision and perfection that she does with her abstract styles, and the textures and the layers to them is just another thing that blows my mind. Nathan from Buff Bar, they do some really amazing kind of conceptual nail art, as well as doing really alternative nail art and drips and chrome elements and all things like that. So I like people who use texture and 3D elements and color, and I'm a real magpie for kind of things I can feel and that sparkle, you know. I'm really into have you seen Fetish for Nails work? They're really bringing back that kind of 90s look with lots of adornments and gems and things like that, which is actually like so far from what I do myself, but I really love to see the variety in different nail artists' work and how they interpret different trends and how what their clients get and stuff. it's a space that's really good for anybody, depending on how you want to express yourself, you know, even like a sleek one color manicure.
Right.
I never do that. Nobody ever has one color from me, but a good red application is like, mwah, I love it.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool like nail artists. Nails by Kanisha. She does very abstract nail art, and like her stuff is very earthy. I just interviewed her as well.
Yes, yeah,
and
I think
like,
I saw.
You know, like her art is like so cool. Same thing with sister, Alice McNails. I interviewed her as well.
Yes.
And like people's art are so unique.
There's too many to mention, really, isn't it? And everyone is painting on these tiny canvases, and you can, you could just do something different every day, you know. It's limitless. It's limitless.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. And nails, it goes to show, like with nails, it's an art form just like anything else.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the thing with the nail industry, is that I think with this industry that we're in, it should be taken more seriously, because like how we said, it's much of an art as anything else. It's a canvas, just like a big canvas or any type of canvas.
100%. And I do think that's a lot for maybe why I came to it so late, that I don't know, being from a single parent family raised by my mum, it was very much like, oh, try and go to college, try and go to university, and not do the vocational things that I probably would have liked to have gone into.
Right.
And maybe when I was 16, 17, again, like vocational subjects weren't pushed as hard for me as I would have liked. So then I ended up coming to it much later. But it's a skill. It's an art. It is so much more than applying a single brush stroke to a nail. You know, it's so much harder than people think. Same with, you know, my friends who are hairdressers. The science behind it is unbelievable, you know. And I think, like you said, it needs to be taken a lot more seriously. And I think we're all doing a good job in that we talk about how much goes into it, and our clients appreciate it. So, but I do like to joke every now, like, oh, you color in, like you did a degree in coloring in, or you color in for a living. I'm like, yeah, if you want to say that, that's fine, but it's so much more than that.
What has been your experience owning your own nail salon or nail studio?
Yeah, so I started off mobile when I first qualified. I had a part-time job at the same time, so I was very much dipping my toe into it, like slowly but surely, because I was scared of, you know, whether I could sustain it, whether it was going to be my full-time job. But after a while, I got my own studio because for a start, I couldn't carry the amount of stuff that I wanted to use. I actually take my hat off to anybody who's mobile and doesn't want to take 1,000 bags. But I really wanted to have a studio separate, like off-street level. So it's accessible, but it's not a storefront studio. It's kind of like a private one-to-one studio. I think partly because of kind of the environment I wanted to create, the fact that every set takes me a few hours and I couldn't possibly concentrate if people wanted to come in and out. Like, hats off to you if you're that good, you know. And I think for my own anxieties and the types of safe space that I wanted to create for my clients, a private studio was the best move for me. So that's what I did. And it's just been lovely kind of developing this space and putting my own stamp on this space and create an environment that's really comfortable for all my different types of clients. I certainly think there's different ways you can go about it, you know, like having other nail techs around you and being inspired by that must be amazing. But just for me and my anxieties and my social skills and things like that, a one-to-one environment was the type of place that I wanted to create. So I've got a little private studio separate from my living space so that I could have that boundary. So yeah, that's where I'm at the minute with everything.
Oh, that's really, really cool. Now, how does one go about like booking a clientele or establishing a clientele?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was that's difficult. That's a lot of hard work. And I think, I personally think, I don't know if it's just from like what I've learned over being in my mid-30s or whatever, is I wanting to attract the types of clients that or create the type, what am I trying to say, like create the type of experience that I would want to have, I suppose. So I'm very conscious of showing a kind of range of art that I do. So I use my Instagram as a portfolio, so that lets people know what it is that I do, and therefore attract the type of people who want that, you know. And I think a lot of it, I've certainly found, I've got sisters, I've got cousins, I've got workmates. It's word of mouth. Honestly, it really is. I don't think I've ever posted an advert on Instagram. It's all been like word of mouth and going through my pictures, and also me putting out there kind of my boundaries. And I know I might maybe I overshare when I talk about, you know, my anxieties and my beliefs and causes that I like to support. But again, I think if I've got any type of platform, I'm going to do that. But also it lets people know my ethos and my morals and the type of person that I am, and therefore hopefully attract like-minded people.
Right.
Is kind of how I found that I did it slowly but surely over time. If that answers the question.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like booking, you know, or making a clientele is important to understand, like the word of mouth and just getting your work out there.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that wholeheartedly. Now, I want to get into, in terms of like with booking, like what are some apps you could recommend in terms of for people to book appointments?
Oh, now I'm terrible because I'm really old fashioned and have a paper diary, Asia, honestly. I did try some apps, but purely financially, I didn't, I found it just easier doing it kind of through DMs and messages. I think because Instagram is such a popular platform. I know that's a really lazy way of doing it, but it seems to have served me well. And then those clients just book when they're with me or drop me a message for the next time that they come in. There's definitely better ways of doing it, especially over here. We've got Fresher, Booksy. I know Polish Pad have got an app. There are definitely good ones out there.
Right.
But I'm old-fashioned grandma. I have a paper diary and I write it in with my little pen. And I do my booking that way.
Yeah, I know some people use like DMs and people use these different apps, like how you said, Booksy, StyleSeat. And, you know, that's how, you know, people will get clients and how clients can book their appointments and things like that.
Yeah.
Now, how important is it to understand like pricing and just charging for your nail art work?
Oh yeah, that's definitely kind of like, that's a tough one. I don't know what it's like where you are, but it really can vary in the UK. I definitely started off maybe not knowing my worth and what I did. Probably still the case where sometimes I undercharge for things. So I think that that's something that is a really tough one. And definitely when I was in beauty school, the amount that they were saying to charge for things was so low. It was unbelievable. Right. So do your market research would be my biggest thing. Like not just kind of charging what your peers charge, but I think I may have looked at like 10 different salons and looked at their different pricing levels, you know, for kind of, especially if you're doing nail art for like minimal or intricate or however you want to label them. I did a lot of market research. I thought about my how long it was taking me to do every service and how quick it might, because of my background in fine art, stuff might take, like I know you're an illustrator as well, you might find that stuff might take you quicker than somebody just starting out because you have a background in drawing and design anyway, you know? So I looked at all these different things and I kind of, it took me a while to figure it out. And I think that I probably started off quite low, but I also think an introductory price isn't necessarily a bad thing when you're starting out. But over here, there's an amazing person to follow called Boss Your Salon. Have you seen that? It's called Boss Your Salon, and she has a free like a pricing masterclass. And there's other things you can access for her content. But also, you know, I just looked at like cost versus materials versus hours and had a look at pricing calculators and stuff as well. So it was definitely hit and miss and up and down, but I generally think I've come to a price where I'm happy. But then inflation goes up and the cost of living goes up, and you have to keep reassessing it, I think, is a really important thing.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that, because stuff is always changing, especially due to the pandemic. That's where stuff is going up, especially with here in the United States. Gas prices going up, you know, people are charging higher, you know, in terms of what their businesses about, you know, the services that they offer, whatever business it is. So it's like, because of the pandemic, just prices in general are just going up. And, you know, I think it does, you know, make sense to understand your worth and understand how you price things, because you have to consider the time, the materials, and the quality of the product, because a lot of products that we use are not cheap. A bottle of Coke would be like $20.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, again, that is a lot of misconceptions, and why, you know, I guess a lot of us utilize our stories and talk about it so much. It's kind of not to sort of be belligerent about it, but just like gel nail polish isn't £3, and so you can't get a one color manicure for £10. That's just not feasible.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing, you know, or even with regular nail polish or anything, like brushes can cost, nail brushes, nail gel art paints, and, you know, so we have to take those things into account, and that's how we charge higher. And plus the quality of the artwork as well, because we spend a lot of time doing the artwork. You know, and like whether it's hand painted or we add a lot of jewels or making our own stuff, so it's cost high.
And not to mention like increased PPE and disposables and stuff during the pandemic. Like we're a very clean and sanitary industry anyway, but that stuff then skyrocketed cost-wise during everything, didn't it? So there's so much to consider.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I want to go ahead and ask, like, how can you describe your nail art style?
Eclectic, colorful. I gotta steal. So here, she said abstract, and I'm instantly like, yeah, I'm gonna say abstract too, because if I think abstract for me is a good word when I don't know what, you know, if I do a mystery manicure. Right. Like people say, do what you want. My default is always abstract. So I would say that's my most popular style. But I do cat portraits. I do French tips. I think it's eclectic, you know, but it's definitely over the top, and more is more. And when I think I've finished, I will add an extra squiggle or an extra shape here and there. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's funny how you mention that, because I'm the same way. I just add more stuff to it. So I'm the same thing. Like, you know, I'm abstract. I love using, you know, colors, you know, doing my own characters.
Yes.
So, you know, that's the thing. I can relate to that, because my stuff is eclectic and abstract, and just these big, bright, bold colors. And it's really, really cool. And especially with bright colors, it just makes people like joyful and happy. So
exactly. And it's that it happens so often where a client will go, do you know what, this month I'm just going to be really restrained, and I'm not going to have too much. And then by the end of it, they forgot they even said that, you know. It's like, oh yeah, that would be good. Shall I add a bit of gold? Yeah, go on then. You know, it just gets more extra and extra and extra as time goes on.
Yeah, that's the thing. Now, how big is the nail scene, you think, in the UK?
Well, I don't know if I'm screaming into a bit of an echo chamber when it comes to that, because on my Instagram, I primarily follow nail artists. So, and nail brands and nail supplies and things like that. So to me, it seems really huge. It does seem like a really big scene. I do think you can go to every city and every town, and within like a 20-mile radius, you could find somebody who could do something extravagant on your nails or do you a great one color manicure. I think it's a really big self-care industry here.
Okay, so in terms of the nail industry, what is your whole take in terms of the progression of the nail industry and like where it's going?
Oh wow, where it's going, I don't know. I think what we were talking about was how it's certainly getting more mainstream hype, I've seen so many TikToks about the euphoria nails and trends and things like that. I think it gets mentioned more now in editorials and magazines. And I think it was it FK Twigs who had amazing sort of nail art on their toes in a music video. I feel like it's being recognized as on a par with hair and makeup, and I certainly think it's a very popular well-being industry now, alongside maybe getting yourself a cheeky little massage or going and having your hair done, getting your nails done monthly. Especially for my clients, it's a real part of their kind of winding down and relaxation. So where it's going, I don't know. I try not to think too far ahead, but I certainly think it's more popular than it was, and a place that you can get whatever you would imagine, like your wildest dreams. There's somebody out there who can do that for you on your nails.
Right. And that's the thing, because like I feel like with the nail industry is progressing a lot from with the crackle nail polish that we said before.
Yeah.
And now it's getting to gels, it's getting to like different colors of acrylics, 3D gel.
Yeah.
Like the possibilities are endless with any like nail materials you can use to create a set of nails. And the thing too is, everyone is big on nail education. There's a lot of nail courses at our disposal.
Yes.
Whether it's on YouTube or on like where we have to pay online. And I recently took a nail course with Vandy Projects talking about like nail prep and different nail techniques and nail designs. And I thought it was a really educational thing because of course nail prep is very, very important. And it's taking care of the client's nails. I think what could be expressed more is just about blood spill or about like, biohazard or how to take care of different clients. Especially there's some that have like allergies. So how do you go about dealing with a client that has allergies? So I think that could be a little bit more.
Oh, 100% agree with you on that. I think that so much of my learning happened after I qualified. There's just almost not enough time in some of the courses. And so I've done extra online things with like Barbicide. And there's a great course with nail knowledge and it's about really understanding your clients as individuals. Like I've got clients who may be using steroid creams, so I don't cut their cuticles, and not just treating everyone with a blanket approach. It's so, like we said earlier, it's so much more than just painting the nail. It's about understanding those diseases, the skin conditions, what to do if you cut the skin, infection control. It's a whole bigger thing that maybe isn't always covered in booty school or is covered, but you really don't, like when you learn to drive a car, do you really learn to drive until you've actually passed your test and you're on the road and you're dealing with real life scenarios as opposed to those hypothetical ones, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, because for here in the US, with the nail education system, it's about like gaining hours to pretty much pass the test. So like how you said, you don't really learn how to be like a nail tech or a cosmetologist till like once you get licensed. So you have to learn a lot of stuff on your own because there's certain things that they won't teach you. So like for me, I'm a licensed cosmetologist. And so I had to acquire 1,500 hours, but they only cover a small sector of nails. So I have to learn the majority on my own, especially while I was doing nail cosmetology courses in high school, because my high school offered the cosmetology field where I can get my license and for a lot of hours. So yeah, it's just, you know, I think there should be more in detail about nails, especially within beauty school.
Yeah, 100%. And it sounds like maybe for you in the US, like that's amazing that you have to do those hours, but you still had to do so much more learning on your own. But it's possibly even more detailed than some of the courses here. Like I learned on my course, it was a brand specific beauty school, and she had like 15-20 years of owning a salon. So I feel like I really got so much industry knowledge at that course. But you know, you can buy like £50 courses off voucher and these online things. Like it's almost like I wanted to be certified so I could go to brands and show them my qualifications in order to use their things. But you can buy stuff off Amazon. So if you want to be a self-taught nail artist, you can be. And I'm not dissing that. I don't mean to be disrespectful about that, but it concerns me a little bit of how it would hurt you as an individual. Like if you did injure somebody or something did go wrong, and what it might do to you or that individual if you're not kind of insured or certified. You know, it's not that I'm disrespecting that you've chosen that path. It's more how it might hurt you in the long run, you know.
Yeah, I could definitely agree. Like having insurance, having protection is vital.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't want to have like a big issue on your hands, and next, you know, you get sued.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you have to do what you can to protect yourself, because the thing is, you're held liable. So if something happens to the client, you're held liable. So I think that's something that I think the nail industry has to cover a little bit more, is just how to get insured.
Yeah.
You know, especially when dealing with clients.
Yeah, I do think we protect, like, and this is me speaking with no kind of huge experience in it, but maybe we lack an element of consistency across different courses. Maybe like some things cover some, but there's no kind of, I don't know, like if you were, I don't even know what to compare it to, but there's certain things that you could qualify in and you must tick all these boxes, no matter where you study it, to know everything. But it's almost like it's a less, what would be the word? A less, let's say consistent again, a less consistent industry, where some places will cover everything you need to know, and then other places will just teach you how to apply the polish. And I feel bad for anybody wanting to start out who might be drawn in by a cheap course, because it's a luxury. It's so it's accessibility, you know. It's so you're so lucky if you get to be able to do it, and you can pay for the high courses. So I understand why people might go for the cheaper courses, but that's why maybe it needs to be more of a regulated industry over here. That's how I feel, like, generally speaking, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I can definitely agree with that. And I think in the UK, I think you guys don't go by hours, do you? You pretty much don't.
No, I didn't have to. I think you could probably, I might be wrong, but I feel like you could probably just be like a self-taught nail artist. You know, you wouldn't get the insurance and the certification, but I made sure that I went with a beauty school that would give me a certificate that would be recognized across a number of places. And they certainly didn't mention to me that there was a guided contact hours. I don't know whether maybe my attendance at the beauty school was my guided contact hours, but there was certainly no, like, you know, if you practice to be a counselor or whatever, you need to do 100 hours of counseling, or that, you know, I'm picking numbers out of the air, but like you mentioned, you had guided contact hours that you needed to do in order to be certified. That was never mentioned to me, you know.
Yeah, because I think with that, I think once they're in the UK, they have like a set amount of hours. I think it's like, okay, this is where we can go. It's not just the fact that you're a self-taught nail artist. And of course, like how you said, that's fine, to be self-taught, because I was self-taught essentially, because I learned like a small sector of nails. I still had to learn everything else, So, but of course, I think establishing those hours, like, okay, this is what you need to pass. I think that would help, especially in the UK.
Yeah. And I do realize that might make it a bit more inaccessible, but maybe from a safeguarding point of view in terms of health and safety of your client, it might be good. I'm not talking about nail art and things like you said. I learned all that afterwards. I didn't get taught how to do nail art on my course. You could go on about it for days, really, couldn't you? And I'm sure there's courses out there that do cover absolute. I think going to college and doing it full time is probably a really great route, but that wasn't accessible for me at my age. Was also the thing,
Yeah. Now I want to get into fashion and nails, because like fashion is big in, within the realm of nails. So what is your whole take in terms of fashion and nails just coming together?
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I think we've kind of touched upon it earlier, where I was saying, like, I love to see my fellow peers when they mention that they get name checked in the editorial, like in the magazine, when they've done some when they've done work on a shoot or something. And I'm seeing a lot more nail artists, like the nails is the focus of the whole look that they're going for. I think it was a few years ago at the Met Gala when the theme was camp, and the nails at that was unbelievable. But a nail pal of mine, Nathan, they are currently doing kind of they're going through a nail art competition, and some of the conceptual nails that they're doing is mind-blowing. Like, it's sculpture, I love that it's so much more than practical. It's also really artistic and a part, it's just as much important to the look as the bag or the shoes, having your nails done. It's just exciting and fun, and throws away any kind of boundaries to how you should dress or what you should look like when you go down a red carpet. If my whole look is the nails, I'm babbling. Sorry.
Yeah, nails are just as much a statement piece as like anything else, like how we said in the very beginning. And with NTNA, and I know that I think Nathan, is competing in this season of Nails X Top Nail Artist.
That's it. Yes, I couldn't remember the name off the top of my head, but they're doing that, and when our Wi-Fi went down, and I quickly checked their post, their new nails, out of this world.
It's
out
amazing.
Of this world. It's so good.
It's amazing. And I did the last season. I did season 8. And
wow.
Yeah. I thought that was like pretty. It was a pretty cool experience. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
It's a lot of work.
That's a lot of rounds and expectations of you, I guess, to compete in that, which that seems like a big thing in the hair and nail industry. Like, you have to put in a lot of work in order to be even recognized. It's not like they go on the work that you've already done, right? It's that you have to fulfill briefs and stuff. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to fulfill briefs, and you got to do it within a certain amount of time. You got to spend at least 15 to 30 hours on a set of nails, if not on one nail. And how TNA works is that, like, if you get eliminated, you do last chance. So last chance, essentially, you have this challenge where you design something on one nail.
Wow.
And you have like 3 days to do it. So yeah, it's hours worth of work. But fashion nails, it's really cool to see that nails is getting its shine in the fashion industry. Some of the designers, like, range from the Blondes, or like any other brand, like Pierre Moss, some of these fashion brands are, collaborating with nail artists and just embracing that artistry of nails, because they know it's as much of an art, as much as the garment in itself.
Yeah.
So that's really, really cool. Now, what are some of your favorite like nail products to use when creating a set of nails?
Oh, nail products. I'm really into at the minute, I'm into kind of that sort of blobby alien orby kind of look that comes with some kind of blooming gel, where you'd use it originally to maybe help you create your torty look, but now it's like I've just done it on these nails, which is like a big blooming gel of purple against another color. So I'm not up to date with all the products and stuff, just because of what my clients tend to have, where we do just a lot of line work and brush work, which is amazing. So some of my favorite products is definitely sort of really, really high shiny silver chrome kind of polishes, the sort of neon powders, the blooming gels, the glass coats. I just actually bought some marbling gels from Born Pretty, and that creates inky gels, and they look really cool as well. So I kind of see something and I try and figure out how they might have created it, and then I maybe dip my toe into like buying that product, because again, it's money and affordability, isn't it? So
right.
But yeah, I like to play and mess around, and yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like, I'm a gel person, but I also like to paint with acrylic paint to do my nail murals and stuff like that. So
yeah,
gel is like the thing, especially 3D gel. Oh, it's like a clay.
Oh yeah, I really love it's a lot of things in Korea at the minute, isn't it, where you have this kind of like the clear tubes and elements on top of the nail designs, but I definitely want to get into more 3D stuff as well. But it's very expensive over here. I don't know what it's like in the US. Like I can't affordably necessarily find like 3D gel. I might be talking nonsense, but I can't. Like cat eye polishes and the mirror stuff, like that's only just becoming, I feel, more kind of mainstream, kind of you can buy cheaper, more affordable brands in it. Before it would be like one brand and it was really expensive to get it. So I'm just waiting on more 3D gel to be a little bit cheaper before I necessarily try and play with that.
Yeah. Like some stuff can be very expensive. Like how we said, a set of polishes can run you like hundreds of dollars. Like there's some times where you have these big sets of gel polishes and they're like $1,400. I'm like, okay, that's too high.
That's too much, especially when bigger brands bring out collections, and I'm like,
right,
I'm not going to buy the collection. I like maybe 3 colors from the collection.
Yeah.
I'll wait till there's a bank holiday sale. Because I'm just, as well, I think, I know what your clients like. You know that they're not necessarily going to jump on, let's try that, let's try that. Like, I didn't have one request for that reflective glitter that was really big over Christmas. Looks amazing, but nobody asked for it, so it didn't matter that I didn't buy it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So how would you define success?
Oh my God, just pulling out the big questions. I think it's very I think that's very personal as to what you define success as. I think for me, success is that I now get to create art every day, and that I'm happy doing it, and that I have boundaries, and that I'm comfortable with all my clients, and that I make them happy. But other people might see success as having their own street salon where they employ 3 people. I think it's just relative to who you are as a person. But for me personally, success is going to sleep happy, waking up excited to do my job, and the fact that now I get to make art for a living, because for a long time I didn't. So success to me is that I get to do something that I'm good at.
Yeah, most definitely. And especially with success, like, I'm kind of the same way where it's, what wakes you up in the morning. And, and it's always the thing of like, I want to produce my best. I think that's how I define success for me, is to always to put out my best. And of course, you don't have to create every day. You don't have to produce every day, but it's definitely putting your best foot forward with the things that you do. And especially also take care of yourself. That's how you maintain what you love to do. And that's how you maintain your work ethic. That's very important.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. And like you said, that you've tried your best, and it might not have always, you could look at it in hindsight and go, oh, I could have spent longer on that, or I could have done longer on that, or that could have been better. But I went all out and tried my best. So that is a win,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. And also too, like, celebrating the small accomplishments. It don't have to be like winning a big trophy or getting a medal and things like that. For example, if you compete in a nail competition and you don't place, I mean, you can celebrate that accomplishment that you've tried, getting into a nail competition.
Exactly. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. So like how you said, people define it differently. Last but not least, where can people find you on social media, and how can people support your work?
Oh, so I'm at that's.handy on Instagram. It's linked to a Facebook that I don't use. And I just got a TikTok where I love to mime along to things. But yeah, I mostly just use my Instagram. I know it's taken a toll on creatives and businesses. But in terms of success, I'm fully booked with lovely clients, and I've got a waiting list, and that's the main thing for me. But yeah, on Instagram it's creative, it's visual. That's where they'll find me. And they can support me by following and commenting and liking and all that sort of stuff. And I will say hello.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Louisa, for jumping onto the show. Your work is absolutely great.
Oh, so is yours.
Thank you so much. You're so welcome. Bubbly, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your story. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
You're most welcome. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms, and visit my website, ASIATHABIRD.com, and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care and stay beautiful.